Well, hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to come to you today with a mail haul. Now, I got these books in the mail. It was probably a couple weeks ago now, but as you've noticed, if you follow the channel, I haven't put a video out in a while. And so this morning, I was doing my book chat over the Inheritors, and then I wanted to do this mail haul. These books all come from a good friend, Paul, who sent these as a gift through the mail, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, Paul. He's a loyal subscriber to the channel, and I just appreciate that. And so I wanted to show you what he sent me because I've already got one of them read. I enjoyed that, and I wanted to show you the rest of them. So here we go. The one that I have already read, I read this during NonFiction November. Thought this would go well with the theme of the month. So this is Civil War in the Ozarks, by Philip Steele and Steve Cottrell. And this is a slim little volume, but it's a nice little brief account of what life was like living in the Ozarks during the Civil War. This is a Pelican Publishing Company out of Gretna. It was published in the year 1994. This is, like I said, this is a slim little book, 136 pages. Let me read the cover to you. The Ozarks were a volatile and strategically important region during the Civil War. According to the New York Times, the Battle of Carthage was the first serious conflict between the United States troops and the rebels. Skirmishes between the abolitionists, Kansas Jayhawkers, and the slaveholders in Arkansas and Missouri had begun years before Fort Sumter was fired upon. Relocated Indian tribes of present-day Oklahoma, the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Seminole, and the Creek, were part of the violence. The factions and fighting among the vast divisions of people made the Ozarks one of the bloodiest regions during the Civil War. Philip Steele and Steve Cottrell have extensively researched the battles that took place between 1861 and 1865 in the writing of this book. They look at the heroes, outlaws, and peacemakers who influenced the role the Ozarks played in the war between the states. Both are noted researchers on Civil War and Ozarks history from Arkansas and Missouri. And sure enough, I actually went to Jesse James Museum, and you'll never guess what I found. I found another book that they wrote. I didn't buy it, maybe I should have, but it was a book on, I was hoping I'd find the exact name, but it was on Jesse James, and I was just totally surprised because I just got done reading this. But anyway, thank you, Paul, for that. That was a definitely interesting book, an interesting look at the Ozarks, a good just overall, that doesn't really dive deep just because it's not very long, but it does a good skim of the top overall history to get you a good feel for where troops are moving in and out of the Ozarks from Missouri to Arkansas, back and forth. So, next one in the stack is Destiny of the Republic, a tale of madness, medicine, and the murder of a president. And this is by Candace Millard. And I have heard so many good things about this author. I have not read her yet, but I am definitely looking forward to this. She also wrote The River of Doubt, and then she has a new one out that I have here somewhere. I'm not going to sit and search for it, but she's got a few books out that have all been definitely well acclaimed. So, and right there's the author. I'll give you, there's our author. All right, so this is from Anchor Books out of New York, and it's a 2011 book. And so I'll see if I can read this. It's kind of hard with the lighting. So it says, the extraordinary New York Times bestseller account of James Garfield's rise from poverty to the American presidency and the dramatic history of his assassination and legacy from best-selling author of The River of Doubt, Candace Millard. So James Abram Garfield was one of the most extraordinary men ever elected president. Born into abject poverty, he rose to become a wonderkind scholar, a Civil War hero, a renowned congressman, and a reluctant presidential candidate who took on the nation's corrupt political establishment. But 4 months after Garfield's inauguration in 1881, he was shot in the back by a deranged office seeker named Charles Guiteau. Garfield survived the attack, but became the object of bitter behind-the-scenes struggle for power over his administration, over the nation's future, and hauntingly, over his medical care. Meticulously researched, epic in scope, and pulsating with an intimate human focus and high-velocity narrative drive, The Destiny of the Republic brings alive a forgotten chapter of U.S. history. And so I was very glad to get this. I had actually seen this same book. It was a hardback copy, but I saw it at a library sale one time, and I had it picked up. I had it in the pile, but I noticed my pile had gotten too big at that time. And so I culled the herd, and this book was one of them that I put down. I don't know why, and I kind of kicked myself ever since that library sale. And then so when I found this in the stack of books in the mail, I was very, very pleased to see it. So thank you for that, Paul. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. I do question one thing, though. On the back of this cover, people, it says that he was a reluctant presidential candidate. Are there really any reluctant presidential candidates? It is my opinion that if you're running for president, you probably want to be there. I don't know that I've ever seen a reluctant one. Maybe they were reluctant after they were in the presidency, but not before. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Usually it takes a little bit of confidence in yourself, and you want to be in that position to be in that position. But anyway, so like I said, Paul follows the channel. He knows what I like. He knows I like Civil War. He knows I love Abraham Lincoln. And guess what he sent me? He sent me a Lincoln book. So this is What Lincoln Believed, The Values and Convictions of America's Greatest President by Michael Lind. And I had not seen this one before, so I was very excited to get that. I've added several books to my Lincoln collection. I've been saying that I really desperately need to do an update on my Lincoln list of books. I've got a bunch. I know I have well over 100, and I am guessing I am now up near the 150 mark. So anyway, this is from Anchor Books out of New York, and it is a 2004 book. So let me read the cover on this one. Countless books have been written about Abraham Lincoln, yet few historians and biographers have taken Lincoln seriously as a thinker or attempted to place him in the context of major intellectual traditions. In this refreshing, brilliantly argued portrait, Michael Lind examines the ideas and beliefs that guided Lincoln as a statesman and shaped the United States in its time of crisis. In a century in which revolutions against monarchy and dictatorship in Europe and Latin America had failed, Lincoln believed that liberal democracy must be defended for the good of the world during an age in which many argued that only whites were capable of republican government. Lincoln insisted on the universality of human rights and the potential for democracy everywhere, yet he also held many of his prejudices of his time. His opposition to slavery was rooted in his allegiance to the ideals of the American Revolution, not support of racial equality. Challenging popular myths and capturing Lincoln's strengths and flaws, Lind offers fascinating and revelatory insights that deepen our understanding of this great, complicated man. So that'll be a good addition to the library. Very excited for that. Moving right along, some more Civil War stuff. This is Civil War Curiosities, Strange Stories, Oddities, Events, and Coincidences by Webb Garrison. And another good addition to the library. This is, Rutledge Hill Press out of Nashville, Tennessee. And it's a 1994 book. And so, again, this is just Civil War Curiosities. It's a collection of short stories here on stuff that happened during the Civil War. I don't think I'm going to read the back cover of that one because I think you get the general idea. And to round out this mail haul, this this is another Civil War book. It's Drawn to the Civil War. Biographical sketches by J. Stephen Lang and illustrations by Michael Kaplanis. And this one looks like it's going to be a treat. It is, oh gosh, all about illustrations for the Civil War. That's good stuff. This is a 1999 book, and it's, let's see, who is the publisher? John F. Blair Publisher out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And so I think this is going to be very interesting. It has all kinds of good illustrations in it. It's full of stuff. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So let's see. Drawn to the Civil War is unabashedly history of dabblers, or history for dabblers. Both Civil War buffs and readers new to the subject will be amused, surprised, and occasionally shocked by J. Stephen Lang's biographical chapters on 62 key figures, half rebel, half Yank. The people presented here, warts and all, include the famous Lincoln, Lee, Jackson, as well as the infamous and intriguing, such as rebel spy Rose Greenhow, who drowned, weighted down by gold, bloodthirsty guerrilla chieftain Bill Quantrell, and gutsy, foul-mouthed Jubal Early. Michael Kaplanis' superb caricatures capture these personalities, generals, politicians, spies, abolitionists, secessionists, better than the official portraits ever could, presenting them in all their quirky, fascinating glory. So I just think this is going to be wonderful, terrific. Any fan of the Civil War is going to want to look at that. So anyway, BookTube, that is my mail haul. And again, this is from a couple of weeks ago. Sorry about not getting this out sooner. Sorry about that, Paul. I really do appreciate you sending these books. I've enjoyed what I've gotten so far. And yeah, so what new books have you guys gotten in? Please don't tell me all of you have gotten into that 100 book challenge or the 500 book challenge of not buying any new books in that space of time. I have thought about it. It wasn't a very long thought. I don't think I could do it, but more power to you if you do. And if you're like me and you don't think you can handle that not buying books until you read 500 of your own books, if you're like me, what new books have you gotten in just to combat those 500 book weirdos out there? So anyway, BookTube, hope you enjoyed this. Hope this maybe gave you some ideas for some new books. I hope you're having a great week. Hope you continue to have a great week. And until next time, happy reading.